Good morning. My name is Sheikh Fairoz Begum, working as a assistant professor in the Department of Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning at Annamacharya University. Today topic is functions in C programming. So first of all, what is mean by function? In programming, especially in C language, a function is a block of code designed to perform a specific task. Function help programmers divide a large and complex program into small manageable units. In functions, we introduce modularity. Modularity means modularity allows a program to be divided a large code into independent modules. Each module performs a specific task, making the program well structured and easy to understand. So, why we use functions? Function uses some of the use of functions. First one is code reusability. Once a function is defined, it can be used multiple times in the same program or in different program. This reduces duplicates of code and saves development time. Second one, improves readability. Function makes program easy to read and understand. Meaningful function names clearly indicates the purpose of code we use. Improves clarity. Third one, easy debugging. When error occurs, we can easily locate within the specific function. This simplifies this simplifies testing and debugging compared to checking the entire program. Fourth point is reduces program size. Using function avoid repeating the same code multiple times. This reduces the overall size of the program and improves efficiency. So functions are classified into two types. First one is library function. Second one is user-defined functions. First one, library function. Library functions are predefined functions. These functions are already defined in C standard library. So we can just call that functions in our program and use the functions. Use those functions. Some of the examples for predefined functions are printf, scanf, main, string length, string copy, square. Second one is user-defined function. User-defined functions are functions which are written by a programmer to perform a specific task. Okay. General syntax for user-defined functions have return type, function name, parameter list, and the body of the function. So that function user-defined functions are again classified into three aspects. First one is function declaration. Second one function definition. Function declaration. This information this informs the compiler about the function name. This informs the compiler about the function name, function type, and parameters which we need to use in our program. The general syntax for function declaration have return type, function name, and parameter list. Second one is function definition. In function definition, it has the actual code of the function. It has a set of statements that are executable when the function is called. So the general syntax for function definition is return type, function name, and parameter list, and the body of the function. Third point is function call. It invokes the function to perform its defined tasks. When we call a function, it invokes the function to perform the tasks to perform its tasks. So general syntax for function calling have function name and arguments. So example for user defined function. This is the example for user defined function. It has first we have header file, then it is a function declaration. Here int is a return type, add is function name, and int a comma int b are parameters. So after that we have main function. In main function we have one variable named as result, integer type variable, and with the help of result we call our function. We call our function add function, and by passing the values to the function. When we call the function, it jumps into the function definition and it read the statements which are present within the function. Here we add two variables a plus b. So a plus b, a takes the 5 value and b takes the value 3. Then we can perform the addition here. Then it returns the values to the main function. This add function returns the values to the main function when we call the add function. And then we print the result. Okay, so the output is 8. Next, user-defined types of user-defined functions are again classified into 4 types based on whether they are using arguments and return values. So first they are as follows. First one, no argument, no return value. Second one, no arguments with return values. Third one, arguments with no return values. Fourth one, with arguments with return values. So first one, no arguments, no return value. So the general syntax for no argument, no return values means it has no arguments and return values. The general syntax for no argument and no return value has it has no return value. That means it has void instead of any return value, either int, float, char. Instead of that return values, it has no return value. That means it has void return. It has as void and a function name and no arguments. It does not have any argument. Okay, so uh, in that function we have the body of the function. Example for no argument and no return value is we have no return value, so we use void as return value and function name as display, and no arguments means so parameters are empty. Within the function we print the hello world. Second one, no arguments return with return value. Here we have no arguments, so we use void here. Sorry, no arguments with return value. With return value means we are using a return value here, so you can use either int, char, a float, anything, and the function name and no arguments. No argument means parameters are empty. So but we have then we have the body of the function. Here the example for no argument return value. We have return value, so we use integer type here and function name as get number and empty parameters. Within the function we have we return the value 10. When we call this function in our program, in another program, we can call this value. Third one, with arguments with no return value. The general syntax for with argument no return value as follows. It has no return value. That means it has void and it has function name and arguments are parameter. It has arguments or parameters and the body of the function. Example for with arguments and no return values are as follows. It has no return value, so we use void as return value and the function name as sum and parameters. We take two parameters here, int a comma int b. So in the function we use these two parameters to add the values and we print the values. Next, last and fourth one is with arguments with return values. The general syntax for with argument and with return value is as follows. It has return value, function name and arguments or parameters. We have the body of the function. The simple example for with argument and with return value are as follows. It has both return value and parameters. So in the place of in return as return value we use integer type and the function name as sum, and we have two parameters here, int a comma int b. So within the function we add these two parameters, which these two parameters when we call the function, this function return the value by adding these two a plus b, a and b variables. So general example, simple example for user defined function is as follows. Here we have header file and the function name. Here we declare a function. Function have return type, integer type, and the function name is square. and parameters or arguments are int n, only one argument or parameter. Then we use main function. In main function we have two variables, num comma result. With the help of print, we can take the value for num in from user through user. Then we call the function, we call our square function with the help of this second variable result. So we call, with the help of result we call our function. When we call this function here, what it tells the compiler to check. Before the main function we declare our function. It tells the compiler to check for this function within our program, so it before closing the program. So when we call this function, compiler checks for the program and takes pass controls to the function. Then here we enter into a function and checks the statements which are representing within a function. Here we have written n into n. N means we are taking some value. Suppose if we take 5 here, it we pass that 5 value to this square function in the place of n. So here we return 5 into 5. 5 into 5 means 25. So what is the result? When we print this result, we got the output as 25. So thank you. That's all about the function. Thank you.